So we're back with Yannick. Now you probably recognize Yannick from another video that we did, and believe it or not, Yannick, that was in June.
It's been a while.
It's been a little while, and you look a little bit more tired. Something's been going on, something called harvest, I guess.
Yeah, we've been crushing for the past 4 weeks now, I think.
Wow.
I'm starting to lose track of time a little bit. And you just don't have time anymore to get dressed up nicely.
I guess not. I guess not. By the way, he doesn't actually have a microphone in his hand. This is going to come into play in a second. This little prop. But we're in what's called the cellar.
Yep.
And we're surrounded by wooden casks as well as stainless steel tanks. And what's going on in here right now?
Right now we're barrel aging some wines and we're fermenting our new harvest. So most of our whites and our rosé wines are fermented in a stainless steel here. And the reason why is because we have jacketed tanks, which allows us to control the temperature of the wines that we ferment.
Jacketed tanks. Give us a little explanation of a jacketed tank as opposed to, say, a tank with no jacket.
Jacket in that sense allows you to pump a glycol solution on the outside of the tank that doesn't come into contact with the wine.
Okay.
And through that we can use a chiller, which then cools the outside of the tank, and that cools down the actual wine itself.
Right.
If we weren't to use that, our wines could, in theory, spike in temperature and then lose some of their aromatic.
Nice. Now this, the oak barrels, I guess.
Yep.
As always, right?
Yep.
How long you keep these barrels for?
Usually for about 3 years.
3 years? Yeah. Okay.
We try and always do a mix of new oak as well as used oak, because we don't want to over oak any of our wines. We always kind of do a little mix of everything. And the one that we're standing here with right now is actually our first experiment with a larger size barrel, and it's the first time that we're making a Chardonnay as well.
Wow. Okay. So this is your first Chardonnay that Between the Lines is going to produce.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's the first time we tried it, and it's turning out pretty nicely.
It's turning out okay. Now what's this thing? I don't know if I think I got this on camera. What's this plastic thing sticking out of the top?
That's an airlock. The whole reason for this is that during fermentation you have a lot of fruit flies.
I know that.
You don't want those in the wine. So what this does is it allows the CO2, the gas that's produced during the fermentation, to escape, but it doesn't allow the fruit flies to get in.
Really? I could probably use that in my kitchen because I leave a few wine bottles lying around and suddenly there's just fruit flies everywhere. I don't know. The turkey baster that you're holding in your hand, which is kind of awkward, but we might as well talk about it. What's the story on the turkey baster?
Well, when we started and used the barrels for the first time, we didn't have a wine thief. Still don't.
Okay, a wine thief is what? It's a proprietary thing that they use to dip into the wine.
It's something that's actually designed to take wine samples out of a barrel.
Okay.
Especially if they're stacked like these ones here, because it's tough to get wine out of it, especially if they're stacked a little bit higher.
All right.
So we figured out to try and use a turkey baster.
Now, hang on though. This turkey baster actually looks like it could be like one of these wine thief things. But this, however, is the original Between the Lines turkey baster.
Yeah, that's our fancy wine thief that we started with. About a year into it, Greg and I decided to upgrade a little bit to a stainless steel one.
From $2.99 to $9.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since then, we've actually really grown to like this one. It works perfectly fine, and you can always grab a sample.
Well, that's what a wine thief is anyway, isn't it? It's just a big turkey baster, right?
Pretty much. You just grab the wine, and this one, even though it's a little bit thinner, it actually allows you to grab wine without spilling it.
Yeah, can you show us like really quick?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a close-up of this afterwards, but go ahead and... So you're taking the top off the wine. You just dip it right in there. Bring that glass back over here when you're done. There you go. Throw it in there. Give yourself a healthy pour, why don't you? Okay, and then you spin it.
A small sample.
Spin around. And how long's that been in the barrel?
This one's been in the barrel for about 2 months now. It's our new Limburger.
This is that Limburger I keep hearing about. Okay, am I saying that right? Limburger? Like it sounds.
It's actually got a couple different synonyms. So Limburger is a pronunciation as well. Then you've got Limburger, you've got Kekfrankos, Franconia, Blaufränkisch. Every region's more or less got a name for it.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, so you're gonna take a quick sniff of that, and you're looking for what now? Like it's 2 months old, so you know it's not like ready to be put on the shelf, but
I'm looking for
already
how the oak is developing.
How the oak is developing. Okay.
It's always just seeing how much oak has already come out. They're brand new barrels. So trying to see how much fruit I still have in the wine, compared to how much oak flavor I have now. Right now, the wine's going to be very tannic because of the new oak that's coming in. It hasn't had a chance to integrate into the wine. That takes at least half a year, if not a year, for that oak to then kind of balance itself out a little bit.
Now, is there anything right now, like if you detected too much oak, say, in the wine, how do you remedy that?
Well, I don't have all of the Lemberger in barrel. I always keep a little bit separate in stainless steel. So
You're clever. Okay.
if a wine starts getting over oaked, I'll actually rotate that batch out, and then I'll put in a new unoaked part of it, just to make sure that the wine always keeps its freshness.
So this is basically the blending
Yeah.
stuff that goes on constantly
Yeah.
until you're happy with it, and then once you're happy with it, in the bottle it goes and
Yep.
onto someone's dinner table. Is that right?
Pretty much.
Okay. So do you taste this wine now? Like, what is it?
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of tannins and stuff in there.
So what you can get right now is still predominantly fruit.
Do you have a cold? Can I try some of this? Or yeah. No? All right.
But the oak is starting to extract a little bit. It's still very fruity right now.
Yeah.
It'll take another little bit for the oak to go right into the wine, but you can also already get the tannins that are drying out the mouth a little bit, and that's just the fresh oak.
Yeah, there's a lot of fruit in there.
Yeah.
Really tart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that Lemberger really has is a nice acidity.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of other reds tend to lose if it gets too warm. And even, this is a 2012, so even last year with the hot temperatures, we still had a really nice acidity in the Lemberger.
Where do you stand on the acidity thing? Like, if you guys, if it's not acidic enough, do you guys chuck acid in there? I mean, how does it work?
Usually we don't have to worry about that, considering Niagara is a cooler climate region anyway. But for Greg and me, we harvest more based on flavor and acidity than based on sweetness level.
Okay.
I'd rather have a wine that tastes good and has a little bit of a lower alcohol level than a wine that has too much alcohol but doesn't taste like anything.
Right. I think we've left the barrel open too long because the fruit flies are actually like gathering already. They must like the Limburger or something, eh?
It's during harvest you can't get rid of them. It's something that we've learned to live with, and eventually after harvest it'll clear itself.
Now, the life of the winemaker, so no sleep, no shave, you're just working hard, and then Christmas, I guess, is going to come and it'll all be over. I mean, do you ever take a break? Do you ever go down to, like, I don't know, Cozumel, Mexico or something, just call it quits for a couple of weeks, or what?
It's actually right before harvest.
Yeah?
It's usually I take a break right before harvest just to kind of rest up, and then it's full blast until the next wine is in bottle.
Nice. Now, I was talking to Greg. He said when I go back and see him in a minute, I'm going to get to taste a couple of the wines, including some reserve wine. What are you looking for in those wines that we're going to try?
Well, in the everyday wines, I want the wines to be easy drinking, approachable, so you don't have to be a wine connoisseur to enjoy them. For the reserves, what I'm looking for is to make an ageable wine. So I want that wine to be drinkable now, but to be able to age for the next 5 to 10 years, something like that.
All right. Yannick, thanks a lot for talking to me. Thanks for breaking out the turkey baster. I know it was a bit of a touchy thing. You didn't want to show it off, but there's the original turkey baster, which you guys should actually put on a plaque, let's face it, hanging on the wall somewhere in here.
It is.
It's got sentimental value, man.
It's pretty much how we started.
Okay, I can see the troops are over there waiting for, they're desperate to try. Is it afternoon? It's after 12 o'clock. It's time for wine, I guess. So we better go try some wine. Okay.